Buttons. She's pretty well terrified of clippers. We have made a lot of progress on her, so she's not near as bad as what she used to be. A bunch of people at the barn told me how bad this mare was with clipping, and I'll be honest, I really thought, I'll work there a few minutes and she probably won't be all that bad. But I had a hold of the lead rope and I walked in the tack room to grab the clippers, and I came walking out with them just like this, and she drugged me down this entire aisleway, just the sheer side of the clippers. They weren't turned in, the cord was rolled up, so obviously she's gotten past that now. We've worked with her on them a couple times. So I'd like to show you guys how we make progress with a horse on teaching them how to be confident with the clippers. So first of all, I actually had to put her in her stall to be able to even just touch them to her shoulder. Whenever you have a scary object, one of the best places to approach the horse is at their shoulder. It's a little bit safer for you to get here, and they're a little more confident about it. So just this was a huge deal when we very first started. So I actually put her in her stall, and I'll be honest, I just kind of cornered her and quick got the clippers on her. The second they touched her, and she realized they weren't turned on, they weren't doing anything, she did calm down pretty quickly. So the first thing I did was just rubbed her all over, just with the clippers, turned off, cord rolled up. And then a lot of times too, the horses aren't so much afraid of the object, but your intent. As soon as you act like you're really going to do something, that's when they get scared. So I tried to really act like I'm really doing something with these, and there's a few hairs there, and now I don't want to actually pull the blades against the hair because the hair will catch in the blades and yank, and we're trying to make her be not afraid of the clippers, so ripping her hair out is not going to help that. So I'm going to really act like I'm doing something with these, even though they're not plugged in, we're not really doing anything. And from prior experience, I can tell you that I was able to get her whiskers clipped a little bit, but we still have not been able to do a bridle path or her ears. So even though obviously touching her ears is not a problem, with the clippers it's a totally different story. So the next step is to let them see the cord. Sometimes just the sheer side of the cord is enough that bothers them. Point proven. So I'm going to plug them in just to hold my cord up. I should have checked to make sure they were turned off. That could have been bad, but thankfully we've been working on this and she's a little bit better now. So again, I'm going to do the same thing I did before, but now she gets to see this cord kind of coming at her. She gets to see the cord moving around. And again, I'm going to be very nonchalant about doing this. I'm going to expect her to behave, but at the same time, I'm also going to act like I'm really doing something. So as you can tell, I put a lot of work into this. We've done this with her a bunch of times. And actually, this is the first time we've done it in the aisle. We've been doing this work in her stall. So the next step that we did was, Hannah, you can come on in here. And actually, here I'm going to trade you clippers. You can actually just stand over here. And I'm going to have you start turning those clippers on and off while I'm using a different set of clippers that, again, are not even plugged in. They're turned off. But you can go ahead and turn those clippers on. Just run them steady for now. Yep, just go ahead and turn them right on. There you go. And so now she gets to hear the noise of the clippers, but she hears it at a distance. She doesn't hear it right up near her ear. So another thing that we can do, and the audio is not going to pick it up real good, so we won't do it a lot, but Hannah can actually run her clippers up against something. So there's a metal door over here, and as I move my clippers, go ahead, we're going to have her run her clippers up and down the door. So that way we get the noise fluctuation the same way we would if we were actually cutting through hair. So tell you what, Hannah, now what you can do is just start turning your clippers on and off. Yep, so turn them off, maybe count to about 5 and then turn them back on and count to 5. And turn them off, count to 5, turn them on, count to 5. Yep, just keep going. Same thing. And this way Buttons gets to hear the clippers turning on and turning off. I know she's being really good now. I promise you she was not this good before. Yep, keep going. there. That way we can plug in both sets of clippers. And the clippers I'm giving Hannah now are just a little bit louder. And these ones are now hot. And they're not real hot, but they're a little bit warmer. Yep, go ahead, same thing with those, turn them on and off. So it's just a little bit different tone out of that set of clippers. The other thing that we did with buttons is we left her watch me clip a horse that doesn't mind it at all. And one of our interns rubbed the clippers all over buttons while the other horse got clipped. So she got to see that that horse didn't care while being messed with herself. Alright, that's good. You can just turn those off and set them down. So, now I can turn these ones on. And you can see she kind of woke up a little bit. And I'm just going to do the same thing I started with before, just rubbing on her neck and her shoulders. As you can see, we put a lot of time into this. She's a lot better about it than she used to be. And she's gotten to where she doesn't mind them too much on her nose. She's actually better if I keep the clippers moving. As soon as they're still, then she gets to feel the vibration, and that really bothers her. So when I'm really moving them, even though they're vibrating against her skin, the movement feels a little more natural to her. All right, she's definitely getting more confident. And see, now she's trying to look at the clippers. She used to never do that. Now, so she's much, much better about that. This here is the area that she's still not real crazy about. Wow, I must have got more progress done last time than I thought. Oh, there we go. Now you can see where she's a little hesitant about them. And I try really hard not to let the clippers come off of her when she tosses her head. I can slide them back down, but they don't come off. What I'd love to see is her to lower her head. And if she lowers her head, then I'll slide the clippers back down. So here she's resistant. I'm just going to keep rubbing. There she is still, so I'll give her just a tiny break. And then right back up again. Oh, this is much better. There we go. So right now, as long as she's good, I'm only going to put them there a couple seconds. And then bring them back down. If she lowers her head, I'll bring them down right away. So now I'm going to try to just get a little more intent. I'm going to get to where I can see if I can sort of start to clip this bridle path a little bit. She has a scissor cut bridle path, which that helps so I can actually see what I'm doing. Oh yeah, as soon as I put the clippers down into her hair, you can see that started to bother her. And you can see her stomping around a little bit, and that's just her showing her aggravation. She knows now that she's supposed to stand here, but she don't like it. There you go, so I'm just running my clippers across her bridle path. I'm not really digging in that much, but I am running it across. There we go. So I try to keep the clippers moving around. I don't want to keep them in one spot for too long, because I don't want the horse to get panicky about having them in that one spot. Excellent. So at some point we're going to be doing her ears. So I'm not worried about actually getting the hair right now. But I just want to get her used to me handling her ears similar to if I was going to clip them. Good. And again, when she's still, is when I will take them away. Good. Where most people go wrong is they try to get too much done all at one shot. This is about our 4th session. There. So again, she got a little evasive. I kept the clippers there until she was less evasive, and then I took them away. Now you might say, man, my horse is 100 times worse than that. Well, guess what? So was she. Like I said, she used to freak out at the sheer sight of a pair of turned off clippers. I wasn't going to try to do her ears when she was that afraid. We slowly build up to where now I can run them across her ears, and she's still evasive, but she's not flying backwards down the aisle. 2 weeks ago, she would have drug me the whole way down the aisle. The clippers would be on the floor. The point is, we're just making a little progress, but we're making progress. You don't need to get it done all in one shot. And of course, something else that we could try at some point is to put in a pair of earplugs. I'm not going to put in the earplugs and then try to clip her right away. But I'm going to put in the earplugs for maybe 2 to 5 minutes, leave them in while she's eating her hay or something like that. Then take them out. Then maybe do that a couple times. And then one day put the earplugs in, now once she's used to them. And then run the clippers near her earplugs in. So even there, when she didn't want to step back up, I just held steady until she gave in. I didn't pull and tug. I just held nice and soft and steady until she released the pressure on her own. Oh, now that we've messed with the ears, the bridle path ain't so bad. Yeah. Now we're lucky that Buttons is pretty short. But if Buttons was 17 hands tall, I would teach her to put her head down, and I'd be doing all this same work down on the ground. I don't like using a stool unless the horse is really good for it. And of course, if the horse is really good for it, then why do you need a stool? I'd much prefer to do all this work from the ground. And I am only 5'3", so to all the short people out there, no complaining. Teach your horse to lower her head. And besides, I would like Buttons to get to where her 13-year-old owner can do this. And for her to not need a stool either. All right, Buttons has a clean-shaven bridle path. Maybe tomorrow I'll do the same thing from the other side. I pretty much stuck on one side today because I didn't want to take the video to take any longer than it already just did. So maybe tomorrow I can come back and do the same thing on the other ear, or heck, maybe in 15, 20 minutes I can come back and do the same thing on the other ear. But I think that was a really good session for her. She was really quiet the whole time. No, I did not clip her ears, but I didn't plan on clipping her ears today. This is not about getting the horse clipped. This is about teaching the horse how to stand confidently for the clippers. So we made some progress, we quit. We work on it again later. And that way, little by little, she finds out that these clippers really aren't that big of a deal.